My name is Benjamin Pan, but people like call me Benny. Last name is P-A-N, just like a Peter Pan, but I'm not Peter, see?
Most Chinese in America today never had an American childhood. If they've learned stories like Peter Pan or Little Red Riding Hood, it's as adults, since they were born overseas and grew up speaking Chinese. I want to tell you the story of one such man and his journey to Queens, New York, a journey that would take him half a lifetime. Like most immigrants in American history, his dream grew out of the sheer misery of life in his homeland. And like others before him, he was after more than just U.S. comforts. He wanted a life that was his own. Jiangsu Province, 1957.
You have to work from morning to night and under the sun, all kind of farmer works. You know, growing rice is a very difficult work, very difficult work.
Benny Pan was not someone you'd expect to find in these rice paddies. Like Helen's father, he'd studied at that training ground for the elite, St. John's University. In fact, was president of his class.
I was a member of the track and field team as a 100 and 200 meter stature. I ran very fast at that time. I was strong that time. Now it's old, getting old.
His graduation, just weeks before Mao took over, was one of the last great ceremonies of the old China.
I was graduated in 1949. We have a gathering together under the camphor tree, have a tea party. But when communists come, means all the dreams spoiled, all the life spoiled, and you can never think of coming out.
Communist rule would trap most Chinese. From a nation of hundreds of millions, immigration to the U.S. would drop to near zero. Benny, as the oldest son, felt he shouldn't leave. But he got his sister Deanna onto a train to Hong Kong as the borders were shutting down.
At that time, I was 19, and my mother didn't want me to leave. I was so scared, and the train station is a mess that time. People's leaving, people's crying, and then communist guard, they searched me, and they took my luggage and took my pocketbook, everything. And the train's going to move, and Ben just pushed me to the train. And my mother came and said, no, you're not going to leave. But Ben said, no, she must go. Let her go. Let her have her life. And I look back and he's waving and then my mother's crying. That's all I can remember. He's my lifesaver. If not because of him, I'm never going to get a chance to leave.
He was a Christian, a college graduate, the child of wealthy parents. All that made him now a marked man. Benny kept his head down and his voice low, became a librarian and language instructor. When he wed Chen Ling in 1957, he slipped off his Mao jacket and borrowed a tux at the photo studio. But then came his year in the rice fields, and that was prelude. In 1967, as Mao's Cultural Revolution reached fever pitch, anyone with ties to the West could be denounced, held, interrogated. Benny's diaries and family pictures were burned.
They tried to squeeze out what you did wrong to the communists. If you don't confess, if you don't admit what they say, they beat you. But I was not afraid of anything because nothing wrong in my heart. So I faced that and I stand up for that. But some of my colleagues, they died, they commit suicide. That was terrible. That was really terrible.
He was separated from his wife and daughters and sent to menial labor for 6 years. Deanna waited anxiously for news. She was building a life, first in Hong Kong, later in New York and Connecticut. That she was now prosperous and safe only added to the anguish.
The letter just stopped. That really scares me.
Deanna's experience was like that of most Chinese Americans. Nearly a decade of silence.
But he's a very strong person, strong-willed person. Hopefully I can hear from him. So I didn't give up my hope. I didn't.